So my name is Dianne, and I'm a student at Arizona State University. But right now I'm based out of Washington D.C. and I'm doing a program with ASU. It's kind of an internship style program within the journalism school. At ASU, I'm majoring in journalism and mass communications with an emphasis in photojournalism. So, photography in general is what I really like to do, and it's what I've been doing for years. So, I'm a digital and visual reporter. In terms of digital, I write stories. I have written a lot of stories. I'm a reporter with Cronkite News, and I'm pretty sure I've written almost like 20 or 20 something. Like every single day, you're writing a story. Just been days where I write two in one day. So one that's what I've done while I've been here. In just these 2 months, I've been relatively successful in learning how to be faster, but also just improving my writing. I don't regret writing any story per se. One of my toughest ones that I wasn't super proud of with my first draft, and it was about a man from Washington State who did he calls it his MMIW bike run across America, advocating for the MMIW movement, which is missing and murdered Indigenous women. And so that's just people from native lands who have gone missing or were murdered, and nothing is being done to solve the crime or to prevent it. Any story that I do for Arizona PBS has to have an Arizona angle. And I really wanted to cover this topic, but it was hard getting an Arizona angle because this is a man from Washington. It was a long shot, right? It was a stretch trying to make it an Arizona story. And so I wrote the first draft and I sent it to my editor. The way that the newsroom works is write your draft, send it to your editor, and then you sit down and you edit it. When I tell you this, when he saw my first draft, he was like, what's the story about? Like, what is this? And I was still trying to figure that out myself, right? And so it's definitely, in terms of the process, not one of my favorites. The topic, yeah, it's been like a pretty cool one, and I like the pictures I got from it. I felt so overwhelmed when we were editing it. I felt like I was gonna cry because it was chaotic. And even my editor, he was like, at one point, he was like, this story just keeps getting worse and worse. And I was like, I know, like, trust me, I know. And so that's been one of my least favorites just because it wasn't the best, not my best work. Once we got the final draft, then it was pretty good. And the reason I don't regret it is because even though it was one of my least favorites because it was a challenge, at the end, once we published it, it ended up getting picked up by Indian Country Today, which is a big news publication with native lands and tribal and indigenous peoples. And then they picked up the story, which is pretty freaking cool. So that's why I don't regret it, because I got good things out of it, but the process itself, definitely don't want to do that again. Don't be afraid to do it. Always be open for new opportunities because you never know what you're going to get out of it. Going into Cronkite, I never even thought about applying for the DC Bureau, but I kind of just was impulsive with it, and I was like, well, let's apply, right? And so don't be afraid to try new things because it can lead to new opportunities that you'll never